Good day, everyone. I'm here to report about the quality approach. So, what is quality approach? The quality approach focuses on improving customer satisfaction by reducing errors and achieving continuous service improvisation. This approach takes into consideration both person and system factors, wherein it's not only the person who they take into consideration, but also the system surrounding the business and the work environment. Also, employers take regular feedback on the personal and professional traits of the employee from managers, peers, and clients to resolve performance issues. They take feedbacks and they do their best to resolve and improve how they can handle people and the systems that they have. A quality management systems or QMS integrates the various internal processes within the organization and intends to provide a process approach for project execution. A process-based QMS enables the organization to identify, measure, control, and improve the various core business processes that will ultimately lead to improved business performance. The quality approach mainly focuses on the use of the Kaizen process in order to continuously improve business processes. Kaizen is a Japanese term meaning change for the better or continuous improvement. It is a Japanese business philosophy regarding the processes that continuously improve operations and involve all employees. Kaizen sees improvement in productivity as a gradual and methodical process. The concept of Kaizen encompasses a wide range of ideas. It involves making the work environment more efficient and effective by creating a team atmosphere, improving everyday procedures, ensuring employee engagement, and making a job more fulfilling, less tiring, and safer. The overall goal of Kaizen is to make small changes over a period of time to create improvements within a company. The idea is that everyone has a stake in the company's success, and everyone should strive to help make the business model better. Many companies have adopted the Kaizen concept. Most notably is the Toyota. Toyota employs the Kaizen philosophy within its organization and has esteemed it as one of its core values. Within its production system, Toyota encourages and empowers all employees to identify areas of potential improvement and create viable solutions. Statistical process techniques. These techniques include process flow analysis, cause and effect diagrams, Pareto charts, control charts, histograms, and scattergrams. Statistical process control techniques are very important in the quality approach. These techniques provide employees with an objective tool to identify causes of problems and potential solutions. First is the process flow analysis. It identifies each action and decision necessary to complete work, such as waiting on a customer or assembling a television set. It can be used to identify all elements within a manufacturing facility, from raw materials through to people and waste routes. It is used to help fully understand the current condition of any manufacturing process facility. The example is like this, wherein the flow of the processes are connected to each other. Next is cause and effect diagrams. Events or causes that result in undesirable outcomes are identified. Employees try to identify all possible causes of a problem. It examines why something happened or might happen by organizing potential causes into smaller categories. It can also be useful for showing relationships between contributing factors. So, we have budget submitted late here and the causes of it, like people, material or information, method, machine, measurement, and environment, and other related factors. Pareto chart. Pareto chart highlights the most important cause of a problem. In a Pareto chart, causes are listed in decreasing order of importance, where importance is usually defined as the frequency with which that cause resulted in a problem. It indicates the frequency of defects as well as their cumulative impact. Pareto charts are useful to find the defects to prioritize in order to observe the greatest overall improvement. This is an example of a Pareto chart of the lost time failures by type. We have here the generator failure as the important one and the pump failure as the least one. We have a downward trend here. And next, we have the control charts. It involved collecting data in multiple points in time. By collecting data at different times, employees can identify what factors contribute to an outcome and when they tend to occur. This graph used to study how a process changes over time. Data are plotted in time order. A control chart always has a central line for the average, an upper line for the upper control limit, and a lower line for the lower control limit. These lines are determined from historical data. So we have always here the control line, the central line. We have the upper control limit and the lower control limit. These data are always from historical data. Histograms. Histograms display distributions of large sets of data. Data are grouped into a smaller number of categories or classes. Histograms are useful for understanding the amount of variance between an outcome and the expected value or average outcome. It is a graphical display of data using bars of different heights. It is similar to a bar chart, but a histogram groups numbers into ranges. The height of each bar shows how many fall into each range. This is the histogram of a monthly salary. And we see here how the salary increase and how the salary decrease. Scattergrams. Scattergrams, also known as scatter plot or scatter diagrams. It shows the relationship between two variables, events, or different pieces of data. Scattergrams help employees determine whether the relationship between two variables or events is positive, negative, or zero. Scattergrams have X and Y graphs with no lines joining any data points. They only have dots here and no lines at all. Scattergrams can help you visualize the existence or absence of any correlations, correspondence, or connections within your spreadsheet. Evaluating quality approach. The quality approach relies primarily on a combination of the attribute and results approaches to performance measurement. However, traditional performance appraisal systems focuses more on individual employee performance, while the quality approach adopts a systems-oriented focus. In summary, organization can take five approaches to measuring performance. First is comparative, or the comparative approach. The comparative approach requires the rater to compare an individual's performance with that of others. The attribute approach focuses on the extent to which individuals have certain attributes or characteristics that is believed to be desirable for the company's success. And the behavioral approach to performance management attempts to define the behaviors an employee must exhibit to be effective on the job. The results and the results approach focuses on managing the objective, measurable results of a job or work group. And last here is the quality approach. Now let's move on to choosing a source for performance information. Because whatever approach to performance management is used, it is necessary to decide whom to use as the source of the performance measures. Each source has specific strengths and weaknesses. We will discuss five primary sources: the managers, peers, subordinates, self, and customers. Now let's have managers. Managers are the most frequently used source of performance information. It is usually safe to assume that supervisors have extensive knowledge of the job requirements and that they have had adequate opportunity to observe their employees. Also, some supervisors may be so biased against a particular employee that to use the supervisor as the sole source of information would result in less than accurate measures for that individual. Favoritism is a fact of organizational life, but it is one that must be minimized as much as possible in performance management. Thus, the performance evaluation system should seek to minimize the opportunities for favoritism to affect ratings. One way to do this is not to rely on only a supervisor's evaluation of an employee's performance. Next is peers. Another source of performance information is the employee's coworkers. Peers are an excellent source of information in a job, such as law enforcement, where the supervisor does not always observe the employee. Peers have expert knowledge of job requirements, and they often have the most opportunity to observe the employee in day-to-day activities. Also, peers are often in the best position to praise and recognize each other's performance on a daily basis. One disadvantage of using peer ratings is the potential for friendship to bias ratings. Next is the subordinates. Subordinates are an especially valuable source of performance information when managers are evaluated. Subordinates often have the best opportunity to evaluate how well a manager treats employees. We have the upward feedback, refers to the appraisals that involve collecting subordinates, evaluations of managers' behaviors and skills. Next is, Next is the self or oneself. Although self-ratings are not often used as the sole source of performance information, they can still be valuable. Obviously, individuals have extensive opportunities to observe their own behavior, and they usually have access to information regarding the results of the job. Self-evaluations have lessened the fear and anxiety associated with the old appraisal process. Employees feel they have a voice and the opportunity to influence the appraisal process. However, one problem with self-ratings is a tendency toward inflated assessment or the exaggerated assessments of oneself. Next is the customers. Many companies are involving customers in their evaluation systems because of the unique nature of services. The product is often produced and consumed on the spot. Supervisors, peers, and subordinates often do not have the opportunity to observe employee behaviors. Instead, the customer is often the only person present to observe the employee's performance, and thus is the best source of performance information. Using customer evaluations of employee performance is appropriate in two situations. The first is when an employee's job requires direct service to the customer or linking the customer to other services within the company. Second is the customer evaluations are appropriate when the company is interested in gathering information to determine what products and services the customer wants. These evaluations contribute to the overall company in the long term. In fact, one recent popular trend in organizations is called the 360-degree appraisal. It is a performance appraisal process for managers that includes evaluations from a wide range of persons who interact with the manager. The process includes self-evaluation as well as evaluations from the manager's boss, subordinates, peers, and customers. They provide they provide the input into a manager's evaluation. And the major advantage of the technique is that It provides a means for minimizing bias in an otherwise subjective evaluation technique. So, in conclusion, the best source of performance information often depends on the particular job. One should choose the source or sources that provide the best opportunity to observe employee behavior and results. That's all. Thank you.